Next sentence. The final cost of the 1976 Olympics, however, now we've got Olympics as underlined, so we'll right click and you can see that it should be capitalized because it's a proper name. We also know that we need commas separating the however from the rest of the sentence. The final cost for the 1976 Olympics, however, were about, oh, almost missed that one. The cost has to agree with were or was. The final cost was. So were is incorrect because it sounds like it's agreeing with Olympics, but in fact what you're talking about is the cost. The cost was about 1.5 billion. So we need to change were to was. The final cost for the 1976 Olympics, however, was about 1.5 billion, a tab that won't be paid off until 2005. Now, if you were writing a formal piece on this, you wouldn't use a contraction. You would change won't to will not. If it's informal, however, contractions are fine. So we'll leave that in this case. In addition, the giant stadium built for the occasion was poorly designed. That sentence looks fine. I don't think we need to change anything there. Although it is impressive to look at, period. This is a problem, however. If we right-click on it, you can see that it says it's a fragment, and in this case it says consider revising. Sometimes you want fragments, but most of the time you don't. So in this case we don't want a fragment here because it doesn't make sense, although it is impressive to look at. It's just kind of plopped in there. So we can decide. We can make it go with the sentence just before it or the sentence just after it, whichever one makes the most sense. So let's try it with the first sentence. In addition, the giant stadium built for the occasion was poorly designed. We put a comma, although it is impressive to look at. And that's okay. But let's look at the second sentence. It is an uncomfortable venue for audiences going to see concerts or sporting events. So if we put that fragment in front of that, we would have, although it is impressive to look at, it is an uncomfortable venue for audiences going to see concerts or sporting events. And I in fact like that one better. So let's put the comma there. So we're deleting the period, adding the comma, and then of course it can't be capitalized anymore because it's part of a sentence. It's not the beginning of a sentence. Although it is impressive to look at, it is an uncomfortable venue for audiences going to see concerts or sporting events, period. That's good. The stadium continues to be a financial burden. That seems fine too. A few years ago, a large piece of concrete fell off the exterior of the stadium. However, nobody was hurt in the incident. Well, we need either commas or some other kind of punctuation here with the stadium, however, and nobody. Okay. Our first instinct might be to put a comma here and a comma here. However, I think that you probably want to get rid of this comma. And actually, when you can see that the green line just popped up, it's telling us there's a grammar error. So if we right-click on it, we have stadium with a semicolon, which I agree. In this case, I agree with this. I think this is the correct change to make. So if we change that, we get stadium semicolon. However, comma, nobody was hurt in the incident. And that's a much better sentence. The lessons learned during the 1976 Olympics helped the organizers of the 1988 Winter Olympics, which were held in Calgary, Alberta. Here, I think we need is a comma between Calgary and Alberta. And finally, we have the last sentence. The 1988 Winter Olympics were on time and on budget, and the world-class facilities constructed for the Games are still used to train athletes. Well, I mean, it's okay. I think we could make it a better sentence. So we could say, the 1988 Winter Olympics were on time and on budget. How about semicolon here? And then instead of and, we could put today. Today, comma, the world-class facilities constructed for the Games are still used to train athletes. And that sounds like a nicer, and a better sentence, I think. What else could we do? Well, whenever you've finished doing this, we can go back and reread it again and make sure that we haven't missed anything, or maybe we don't like the way it looks. I'm going to suggest over here that this however We've used however a lot in the sentence, so maybe in this case we want to change it to another word, such as, how about fortunately? Fortunately, nobody was hurt in the incident, and that makes sense. And it changes it up a bit so that we don't have too many of the same kind of word. So once you've made your changes, you're going to proofread things. You're going to go through and you need to accept or reject each change. Okay, and there's a couple ways to do this. So, if you were, this first one, we can right-click on it, like this, and we get our drop-down menu, and we get accept change or reject change. So if we click on accept, it gets rid of the crossed-out word, and we're left with the were. The other way to do it is to use the ribbon at the top. You can accept and move to next. So you click on it and we've got that. And then we've got the comma here. We can accept that. And now it's gone to the comment. If we've decided that this comment isn't relevant, we could just delete the comment. Or we could go in and change this to put the accent, whatever you think you need to do. Well, let's just leave it for now. So then we can go to this next one and we can accept or reject, or we can also go here, click on the drop down arrow, and we can do accept or move to next. We can just accept that one change, or we can accept all the changes in the document. So let's do that right now, and you'll see all the red has disappeared. Now, of course, you need to proofread it one more time. You want to make sure that no errors have been missed and that all the changes that you've made are appropriate. Remember that the tools like the spell checker will catch misspelled words, but they won't necessarily catch misused words that are spelt correctly. So you do need to be careful there. So finally, we save our new document and close it, and then you can do whatever you need to do with it. So using track changes can be very useful when you are collaborating with other people to create a written document. In this video, we used track changes, spell check, and grammar check as I demonstrated the process of editing a document created in MS Word. Thank you for listening.